Well, welcome to Hamilton County TV. I'm Perry Williams, and today is the coaches show for the Noblesville Millers. Welcome, Coach Hebert.
Thank you, Perry. Glad to be here.
Glad to see you again. It's been a couple of weeks. We had some things that we had to take care of, my wife and I, so we were gone. Had a little vacation, which is very unusual for us, but I appreciate you understanding that we didn't have shows for 2 weeks, but I'm glad to get back into action here. But let's talk a little bit about last week's game, 31-6. Southeastern came out victorious, but the one thing about it, it was kind of a tale of two halves, really. I mean, the first, especially the first quarter, we got down, okay, and never really recovered. But the second half, we played pretty good football. So let's talk a little bit about that Southeastern game.
Sure, and you know, it ends a 3-week stretch where, you know, we made a lot of progress, and not always in the way that you'd hoped it be with more W's in the win column. We, you know, still have a ways to go, but we felt like going into the HSC game that we had made some improvements offensively. We had some things we needed to fix defensively from the Franklin Central game, but you know, again, I don't think that we were solely to blame for the poor start. I think Hamilton Southeastern deserves some credit for getting off to a really good start, and they scored early on us in their first drive, and then, you know, we weren't able to get first downs. Only had one first down in the whole first half, and I think that really just continually put our defense in a tough spot. The starting field position for Hamilton Southeastern was really good throughout the first half, so they were on a short field. They converted. That being said, our defense still turned them away a couple of times inside the 10-yard line and forced them to kick a field goal another time. But yeah, nobody was happy at all at halftime. We go back into the locker room, and it's, you know, we're down 31-0, and you know, we had really spent the whole week talking and working toward having a better start to the game, but that was behind us, and we went out in the second half determined to fight through difficult circumstances and not let the game just get away from us. You know that the rule is that at 35-point lead after halftime, it turns into a running clock. And so, you know, a running clock means that the game's over really quickly, and that means you lose out on opportunities to play, get experience, develop, you know, so that running clock can really hurt. I know the intention for it was good, and I understand it, but for us, that's not what we wanted at all. And so we were fighting to play a 4-quarter game, and so defensively, we really stepped up in the second half. They still had their starting units out there on both sides of the ball, as did we, and so it was a much you know, more complete battle, I thought, on our end, and so we were able to keep them out. And you know, we turned the ball over, got an interception of one of their passes, and you know, we're able to put together a nice offensive drive where we moved the ball the length of the field, and touchdown pass from Windsor Hutchins to Alfred Allwine, and we chose to go for 2. It was 31-6. We're going to go for 2 in that situation. Did not get it. Went for the onside kick and did not get that either, but continued to battle defensively. And so not really into moral battles. I mean, victories, moral victories. You know, we're hesitant to make too much out of that, but really the next day when we were watching the film, it was clear that there was a lot there that showed evidence of our progress and things we could point to our players to, you know, let them know that we are making these strides. We are playing also really good teams. And so, a lesser schedule, we might have maybe a more false idea of where we are. Here we are going against all these great teams. So that's where we want to be. We want to be with them. And so we've got to measure ourselves against them. And, it's a mixed story, definitely. If we could come out and really show the same kind of cohesion in the first half that we did in the second, then we might be in a position to make some plays to, stay in that game longer and maybe win it.
Yeah, one thing about it, Coach, and you mentioned it, that I want to expound about it a little bit. Each year, of course, the media always comes up, and there's this Segram formula that, measures strength of schedules and all that stuff. And I was looking at it this week. I really don't pay much attention to it until it gets 7, 8 games in. But if you look at the strength of schedule in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, which, not including us, there are 7 teams. And of those 7 teams, the top 12 are in our conference. The top 12 for the strength of schedule. I guess my point is, and you never use an excuse about having tougher opponents or anything, because that's what makes you better. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, there's no easy out of winning football games in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference. And every week is a battle.
Yeah, I think the things that we've done already, the accountability in the program, the fact that everyone's actions are evaluated, registered, computed. I mean, everybody's being held accountable. There's the work ethic, just the demands, the high standards that we've established, the unity, the togetherness, the brotherhood inside the locker room, and then the stuff that we're doing on the field. If you just look at the things that we've done in a lesser situation or a place not as highly competitive as here, we might have already made a breakthrough, but we wouldn't be headed toward a championship environment, because the missing component there is playing great people.
Yes.
You have to play great people to be great yourself. You just can't get there without that. That iron sharpens iron is absolutely
it's real.
Instrumental. Yeah, and we know this, and I think our kids know it. It doesn't make it any less frustrating to know it, because we're competitive and we're playing to win. And but what I keep saying to our team, and I firmly believe this, and I think that they do too. I think we're gaining believers all the time that we're playing our best football. We're moving toward being at our best. We're not there. We're not there, but we're moving there. And you want to be moving in that direction and making substantial progress this time of year. And we get to the playoffs. We've played all 3 of our sectional opponents, so we're going to have some familiarity there. Hopefully we're a little bit healthier when we're playing each one. But our guys at practice, in the weight room, just be in the locker room, they're upbeat. They know that what we're doing is building something special. And, I just don't know if we'd really be where we are now had we not played such great opponents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Coach, next game coming up is the Brownsburg Bulldogs, and they are some Bulldogs now. That's a great football team, number 1 in the state, talented team, last year state champion. They're a tough football team. Mm-hmm. But let's talk a little bit about that, and I guess maybe talk a little bit about, your preparation is the same each week. Now, it's a different team, but your preparation's the same. And how's that been going this week, and what can we expect from Brownsburg?
You hit it on the head there that they are outstanding. I mean, they're number one for a reason, and they're the defending state champs, and they look like they're going to contend for doing that again, for repeating, and that's very seldom achieved.
You know, the one thing about that is you say that, and you've been there, done that. It's a tough road to try to do a back-to-back. I mean, there's not, if you look down that list, there's not many teams that have won a back-to-back. So this is not an easy process. And I've always said, man, you got to have, I know all those teams are talented, but you have to have a few breaks to win a state championship.
That is absolutely the case. And here we are through week 7 with 2 games left in the regular season and then the playoffs. So much is going to happen. You get a clearer picture around the state of where things are, but this is where teams really start to make their run. And there are hungry teams out there that have lost a game or 2 or 3, and they could very well be in contention, and people have maybe crossed them out or put them off to the side because they've lost a few, when in actuality those losses probably got them farther than some wins could have.
Yes.
But in Brownsburg's case, I mean, they clearly, they're a complete team. They're deep. They're strong everywhere. They have no apparent weaknesses from a personnel standpoint. Great quarterback, several great running backs, maybe 4 great running backs, and then their offensive line is the best we've seen so far. Tight ends, their defense is outstanding. They're physical. They're disciplined. The coaching staff does an outstanding job preparing them, and then their scheme is tough to defend. They put you in a bind a lot on both sides of the ball. They force you to do things, that you don't want to do. And so, but to your original point about each game needs to have a systematic approach. This is how we prepare, whether it's, Brownsburg in week 8 or Homestead in week 2. It's going to be the same. And I really wanted our players to understand that we don't get up for certain games and then, we're not so up for the other ones. I mean, so we're trying to stay true to that now, because you could very easily let the emotion of playing the number 1 team be the story for us. It's not the story for us. Our story for us is us and the path that we're on, our development, the growth that we need to make and who we are as a team. And that's regardless of them. They've got their own story, and congrats to them for what they've achieved so far. We know we're going to face a really good team coming in here, but our team's ready to compete. We've said that from day one, that there are certain things, because this is year 1 and things are new, and we don't have the same muscle memory doing a lot of this stuff that a lot of our opponents have, that we're going to have to accept that we're not going to be perfect. We're not going to be mistake-free. But, man, our effort, our energy, our determination, that we can control. And that has to be on full display on Friday to play against such a great opponent. We've got to, really, really let our effort and our heart lead the way. And I believe that our kids are excited about that and about taking the next step for us, which is, we're becoming a better football team. We string some things together, and some things that have gone on in the past, that tripped us up won't. Let's learn. Let's accelerate the learning. Let's learn from our past mistakes, put them to good use, and really go out and give our best. And that's what we intend to do.
That sounds great, Coach. And I know that it seems like that the kids are still very, very positive about it. And sometimes people don't realize they're sitting in the stands. You're a new coach here at Noblesville, okay? and John Hart's been at Brownsburg for several years, and his system, just like your system, their kids at Brownsburg know that system. They've already been through it, seen it through the years at him at Brownsburg, and so is everybody else. Where here at Noblesville, it's a little bit different. It's going to take a little while. So, you know, I'm excited about this game, and golly, this season's went fast. I mean, that may not for you, but it really has. I mean, we're in our final game at home in the regular season.
Yeah, it's gone fast for me, and I think everyone inside the program feels the same way. I certainly don't like the outcomes.
Sure.
Nobody. It's tough. It's tough on us. But as far as the fight and the work and the togetherness, the time spent within the program, what we do on a daily basis, I wouldn't choose to be anywhere else doing anything else. It is why I coach. It's why the other coaches are. We just have great kids that are sponges. They want to learn. They want to get better, and they want to compete. And so, you know, when you're doing that on a daily basis, time goes by fast. Before you know it, I mean, I can't even believe we're at this point where it's, you know, October already, and you got Halloween decorations everywhere, and the leaves are turning, and you look up and it's all that time's gone by, but it's been great so far.
Well, Coach, I appreciate. I know you got a busy schedule and preparing and practice coming up, so I thank you for taking time out for this show, and good luck on Friday night. And Hamilton County TV will be here broadcasting the game, and we're excited about doing that. And go Millers.
Well, Perry, really appreciate the support. All of us do. This is our last home game for the regular season, and hopefully we get a favorable draw here in a week.
Sure.
In a week we'll know what our draw is, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about that on a future show. But
Yes.
We really appreciate just how much the community, you know, HCTV leading the way on that, supports us. And thanks for covering us. And
No problem. We enjoy every minute of it.
that's great. Thank you. Go Millers.
Go Millers.